Meanwhile, in the train boarding to Florida, or going to Florida, Leatherhead and Mockbuster were there relaxing on top of the train. Until suddenly, there were helicopters, a lot of helicopters, and numerous armed bots infiltrated the train. Into the train and started holding people hostage and began rigging the train full of explosives. And Leatherhead, not realizing that they were all raiding the train, he had a plan. Him and Mockbuster were going to get in and stop the armed bots from harming people, as Leatherhead learned that lesson from Leo because he's friends with the Ninja Turtles, and Mockbuster wants to do some action after he was considered obsolete. So there was 3 armed bots were pulling their miniguns, and there revs up the miniguns. Thus, of course, Mockbuster's left arm took bullets, but he's still fine. So he charged and punched those 3 armed bots. And of course, all the people who were held hostage started clamoring and cheering on him. And more started coming in, but he was outnumbered. And until Leatherhead popped into the scene, but realizing he was unarmed, so he looked at a briefcase that had a shotgun loaded and a few barrels, so he used that shotgun to start shooting a few armed robots. So everyone cheered for both of them, but their plan was not over, as more will keep coming. And realizing they had to get rid of the explosives from the train. So, of course, from that train, they both went and started hearing that beep. They were close, super close, and thus, they found it. Numerous boxes full of explosives. But luckily, next door is the opening hatch. So, Mockbuster and Leatherhead started kicking the explosive crates away from the train. And thus, all those explosive crates blew up, but not in the train, fearing it would go national news. But realizing that the armed robots, their mission had failed, they want to get revenge by outright telling that they want to kill both Leatherhead and Mockbuster. Eventually, Mockbuster practiced his special move. He used his special move from Blockbuster, Shock and Awe. And Leatherhead started shooting to those robots. And of course, realizing that they need to go to the bridge, since a train stop is very close. So they rush to the train station, but realizing the train conductor has been knocked out by a spy bot. But don't forget, that spy bot is actually conniving and actually can deal damage. So he had an idea. So Leatherhead had an idea. Go savage and start biting that spy bot. As spy bot started screaming, in terms waking up the conductor. And of course, as the train stop to Florida is closed. The conductor pulled the emergency brakes to stop. And thus, everyone was safe. And thus, of course, what's left of the robots, they decided to flee, knowing their mission had failed, and their leaders are frustrated at not blowing up the train. But of course, Leatherhead and Mockbuster were celebrated as heroes for that incident. Of course, how do you expect it? Of course, after that, Leatherhead started untying everyone that was held hostage from the ropes. And everyone was out of the train and got to enjoy Florida. And Leatherhead wanted to enjoy Florida along with Mockbuster. Thus, the train had moved on, saying, choo-choo! And Leatherhead was ready for the Florida adventures. Until next time.